Ty Gibbs will be running a special tribute scheme to Kyle Busch coming up at Bristol in a few weeks. The All-Star race is once again on the move, and silly season in the O'Reilly Series is beginning to really heat up. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Talkin NASCAR. I'm your host, Andrew. I'm coming to you from this episode while I'm watching the Green Bay Packers in their first preseason game of the NFL season. So the NFL season's right around the corner. Meanwhile, the chase for the NASCAR Cup Series and all of NASCAR is coming up very, very quickly. Just right about the time, actually, that the NFL season kicks off with the regular season and the postseason begins for the NASCAR side of things. So should be fun to watch as we continue to move forward. We got a great show on hand for this episode. A lot of news, a lot of rumors, tracks and race dates being confirmed in the NASCAR Cup Series. And as well, we have some power rankings to round out the episode once again. So we're going to go ahead and start off this episode, though, by talking about the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series from this past weekend in Iowa this weekend. Carson Kvapil picked up the win after a string of cautions late in the going in this one. Lots of chaos towards the end of this one. A lot of spins on that old, worn-out surface of Iowa. But Rajah Caruth finished in second place. He was right behind his teammate of Carson Kvapil, William Sawalich, another guy that won a race at Rockingham earlier this year. Another worn-out surface, repaved recently. Managed to get a pretty solid result. That will be huge for him and his hopes to pursue a chase position for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series with only a few races left to go in their regular season. Ross Chastain, driving for Junior Motorsports in the 9 car, finished in 4th place after starting on the front row. Sheldon Creed for Haas Factory Team in 5th, rounding out the top 5. How about Nick Sanchez finishing in 6th place for Peterson Racing? Started inside the top 15 and had a very impressive finish, finishing in 6th place, really putting his name out there. I mean, I've been a big Nick Sanchez fan. I had him ranked in my top 10 prospects in NASCAR at the beginning of the season. He's fallen out of those rankings now that we have reached the midway, or we're past the midway point through the season. But I'm still very high on Nick Sanchez. He's a proven NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series winner. He's at least won a race in this series with pretty decent equipment with Big Machine Racing. Not the top tier teams, but still one of the better teams in the series. But still impressive what Nick Sanchez has done in the series, and still continuing to show that with Peterson Racing in the 87 car. And then a string of Toyotas in 7th, 8th, and 9th. Taylor Gray in 7th, another guy on the chase bubble for the O'Reilly Series, looking to hopefully stay inside the chase moving forward. And then the 2 Sam Hunt Racing teammates of Dean Thompson, Harrison Burton in 8th and 9th. Dean Thompson just announced this past weekend that he will be leaving Sam Hunt Racing at the end of the season and joining Haas Factory Team in a 3rd new entry. We'll talk about Haas Factory Team in a second because they are not quite out of the silly season rumors and storylines quite yet this week. And then Harrison Burton, been a disappointing season so far. A top 10 is very solid for him. And then Brennan Poole in the 44 for Alpha Prime Racing finished in 10th place, so pretty solid result for him. Austin Hill, Kyle Sieg for RSS Racing, a really good result for the 28 car. Parker Retzlaff, another chase driver. Brandon Jones and Carson Brown in his NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series debut for Jordan Anderson Racing in the 32 rounds out the top 15. Meanwhile, Brent Cruz, Sammy Smith in 16th and 17th. Sam Mayer finished in 21st. Allgaier outside the top 20 in 4th. Ryan Sieg, who started from the pole in this one, finished in 3rd. And then Jesse Love and Corey Day, 35th and 36th. So not some great days for those two. Real quick, taking a look at the chase standings for the O'Reilly Series. Justin Allgaier still continues to lead. Carson Kvapil, back-to-back wins for him in the O'Reilly Series at Indianapolis and at Iowa, so he still remains in 2nd place. Sheldon Creed moves up 1 spot ahead of Jesse Love, who moves down to 4th place in the standings. Parker Retzlaff is still in 9th. Sam Mayer 10th. William Sawalich actually jumps up 2 spots to the second-to-last driver in the chase with his good result. Brent Cruz drops down to 12th, so he is the last driver in, and Taylor Gray is the first driver out of the chase. Cruz still in 14th, Sieg in 15th, Alfredo Poole, Dean Thompson, Jeremy Clements, so on, all the way down to 20th. Right now, it really is between Rajah Caruth, Taylor Gray, Brent Cruz, and William Sawalich to make the chase. Sam Mayer isn't safe, but he definitely has a little bit more of a points cushion compared to the two others that are just barely in. So not safe yet, but he's definitely got a more comfortable points position and points cushion. Brent Cruz has definitely slowed down a little bit over the last few races, not running as good. Still has been consistent, but it's definitely been a struggle for the 19 team and the young teenager of Brent Cruz. So we'll have to wait and see. They will be off this weekend in Richmond. I think they will be back for New Hampshire in a week or two, or next in the following week. Excuse me. I believe that's the next race that we'll see in the O'Reilly Series coming up next week. So stay tuned for that and more. Craftsman Truck Series, just taking a quick gander at that before we head into Richmond this weekend. Lane Riggs still out in front for the standings for the Truck Series. Kane Honeycutt's in second, 100 points behind him. Chandler Smith is in third at 153 points. Then Eckes, Ruggiero, those drivers are all locked in. Majeski, Rhodes, Grant Enfinger, and Daniel Hemrick, and Stuart Friesen round out the top 10 with Ankrum in the 18 truck being the first driver out, followed by Garcia, Andres Perez, Brendan Queen, and Haley as well. And then Tanner Gray also in the conversation. He's in 16th. So when I look at the Truck Series standings real quick, I would say Haley on up, the drivers out. So Haley, Brendan Queen, his teammate, Perez, Garcia, and Tyler Ankrum, I think still have a chance to make the chase, but time is running out for them to make a move. So maybe they'll be able to make something happen, but time is running out for those drivers. And same thing in the O'Reilly Series for Taylor Gray and Brent Cruz to really solidify his position in the chase. Same for Caruth, Ryan Sieg, Alfredo, Poole, and Thompson. They're not eliminated technically, but we're going to say they're eliminated because it's a big points gap that they're going to have to make up. Meanwhile, Sammy Smith is the latest driver to be locked in alongside Austin Hill in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. So there you go. That's a little bit of a recap for you for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series following this weekend in Iowa. Next up, we got some more announcement on track dates and race dates for next season, and we had a big one, or a big two, that I kind of want to lump together because I think they do go together. The first one is that North Wilkesboro will be once again hosting the All-Star Race in 2027. Shame for the track. First off, they just hosted their first points race in a few years, in almost 3 decades, excuse me. So I feel bad for them, but in my opinion, I do think that the All-Star Race does fit better with North Wilkesboro. I think right now, just especially with what we saw in the first points race, there's still a lot of work to be done for Wilkesboro and the short track package. And I think you getting an exhibition race there, it's a smaller track, you get a smaller field out there. I think you'll have better racing there, in my opinion. So I think that's a pretty good idea, just at least for next year. Go back to Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. The other big announcement is that Dover will once again have a points date in 2027. It will be in mid-May, on May 15th, or excuse me, on May 16th will be the Cup race, also accompanied by the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And yeah, I think that this is a no-brainer move by NASCAR, honestly. I don't know why they even went to Dover for the All-Star race to begin with. But regardless, I think Dover, it's a great point state. They've slowly gotten the racing to be a little bit better year over year. It's still not, the best it could be at Dover, but it's definitely really, really cool. It's a cool venue. It just doesn't fit the All-Star race, It's not a night race. I think the All-Star race should be a night race. It should be a short track, smaller field, smaller track. Dover is small. It's the Monster Mile for a reason, but the speeds are so crazy there. There's a lot of action happening out on track. I think a traditional short track like Wilkesboro just works a lot better, but for Dover, at least for this year, we saw at the All-Star race, it looked like a points race. It acted like a points race. There was, every car out on track to begin with, and they slowly narrowed the field down to a field of 23 for that final little segment. So having all the full field out there at Dover, I think will work a lot better. So I'm in favor of this move 100%. But I do want to real quick go back to the North Wilkesboro statement and some of the headlines and the official announcement that was made when this announcement came out. And the reason that they're going back to Wilkesboro is it will be celebrating the 35th anniversary of One Hot Night, the first All-Star race, which was a night race back in 1992, dubbed by Burton Smith and Humpy Wheeler back at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And One Hot Night is known for having a lot of experimentation in that race with double file restarts, new rules packages, stage racing, inversions, promoters cautions even were a part of this, and under the car neon lighting in previous All-Star races. So this will be a kind of, or it has a history of celebrating, a lot of experimentation with this race, which makes me think, could this be a race where NASCAR and the Cup teams come together to devise some new ideas for an all-star race, to try out some new different things, maybe a new style of racing, like stage racing could be potentially a thing they talk about, a new rules package, a new way to design the car and how to build it and prepare for the race. And I think it would be really cool if NASCAR can get back to this. And we heard a rumor about NASCAR, talking with the teams about potentially letting them build their own car pretty much within the next gen model, I would say, or at least was what they had in mind for an upcoming All-Star race. That ended up not happening this year. Instead, they went with whatever format they had, and what joke that was. But maybe this could be something they roll back out for the 2027 version of the All-Star race. I think that would be a really cool idea. We'll see if it happens or not. Again, the All-Star race is so far down the road. They are not even close to announcing the All-Star race format. So a lot can happen between here and now for the All-Star race. But I would say I'm pretty excited about the future of NASCAR and getting back to its roots, and what a great job that Steve O'Donnell has done ever since he took over role as president of NASCAR. Because changes he's made, they've been great, and this is one of those that he can add to the list along with it. Some other tracks that announced their dates. Earlier today, Richmond announced that they will be returning to the chase for their singular date next season. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series will be returning to Richmond Raceway once again, so it'll be awesome. Richmond will be returning to the chase for the first time, or for the playoffs, I should say, for the first time since 2021 was the last time they had a postseason day for the NASCAR Cup Series, so should be exciting there. Darlington also officially confirmed that their second date, the Southern 500, will be at the end of the regular season, as compared to being the first race of the chase. And then Las Vegas officially announced that they will have their two race dates again next season, unchanged pretty much from the previous years. They'll have a race in the chase, and then they'll have a regular season date early on in the season. Moving on, I figure I probably should talk about this. This came out yesterday. NASCAR has updated their rookie rules, or their rookie designation rules, once again, setting new rules on eligibility limits, and it refers to Corey Heim specifically. They announced that you can only be are eligible for a rookie having completed 10 cup starts, or excuse me, 12 cup starts or less if you want to declare for the Rookie of the Year, 10 starts in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and 8 in the Craftsman Truck Series. So Corey Heim, he's already made 15 starts in the NASCAR Cup Series in his career since 2024. He's going to make 4 more starts this year, so he'll make 19 in total over that stretch. So he will not be eligible for Rookie of the Year next season. Mike Ford, communications director for NASCAR, said on Holler Talk, I believe, this week, said that Corey Heim could have competed for Rookie of the Year this season, but he did not apply for it, so Corey Heim will not be competing for Rookie of the Year next season. So, yeah, that's a little disappointing, I would say. I'm not a big fan of this designation, or this rule change by NASCAR, and they've changed the rookie designation, rookie eligibility a lot, and over the last few years, and yeah, this is just the recent, extent of that. And in my opinion, I think what should qualify you as a rookie in NASCAR is if you're gonna be running in your first full season. Like, I know Corey Himes had a handful of starts in the Cup Series. It's gonna be almost a full season, about a little under half, or a little over half a season, excuse me. So he has experience, but in my opinion, I still think that he would be a rookie because there's so many things that he has to learn about being a full-time Cup Series driver. So I don't know. Like, maybe it's just to try to avoid, maybe since he might be the only rookie in the Cup Series full time next year. Because Connor Zilic obviously is a rookie this year. He's going to win it because he's the only full time rookie in the Cup Series this year. No one's going to challenge him for that, much like SVG was a couple years ago, or maybe it was Kaz Gralla. Maybe I can't remember. But it sounds like that there won't be very many rookies next year, if any. Now that Corey Heim won't be eligible, so I don't know. I think that these rules are a little scummy, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of them, so yeah, I don't like this. I feel like it's a big slap in the face to Corey Heim because, in my opinion, like, you can place the blame on NASCAR, or you can place the blame on 2311 for not, declaring eligibility for Corey Heim, because again, he would have been eligible this year, but I still think that, rookie of the year, much like other sports, is, you have to, like in baseball, for example, like you can have a certain amount of games you can play before you lose like rookie status in the major leagues. So I know that's a thing, but I feel like NASCAR is a little bit different. I think that, you can have one full season or run a handful of starts and still not be, a still be a rookie, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe running a full season should, clarify you as, a rookie. So I don't know. I'm kind of frustrated by that, but let me know down in the comments what you think about this move by NASCAR to change these eligibility rules for Rookie of the Year. Moving on, Ty Gibbs has just unveiled his newest paint scheme that he'll be running at Bristol Motor Speedway coming up in a few weeks during the chase. Will be the third race of the NASCAR Cup Series chase. It has been revealed to be a tribute to his predecessor of the 54 car, Kyle Busch. It will be an M&M's scheme. M&M's is hopping back on board with Joe Gibbs Racing to be a part of that paint scheme. It will be a true M&M's paint scheme. It's not like a ripoff like that Thomas Annunziata tried to do at Lime Rock in the Arkham series a couple weeks ago. So this is awesome. And what's really cool about this paint scheme is that not only is it M&M's returning to the sport for the first time since 2022, it's that it is the graphic of it is founded by or based on a lot of photos from Kyle Busch's career. So it's the same color scheme. It has the M&Ms on it, but if you look closely, every single moment, every single like inch of that car is a photo of a big moment from Kyle Busch's career. So it is an awesome tribute by M&Ms to hop back on for the first time, probably the last time we'll see in a very long time. But to honor their most successful driver in the history of their sponsor. So I am super happy about this to see M&M's returning. I know many fans are as well, so I'm happy about it. This is a great paint scheme. It's good looking. Actually, kind of fits well on the new Toyota Camry body that the Toyotas have. So I love it. Moving on, we are going to talk about some silly season rumors around the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts series. And recently, a rumor has popped up that a new team could be jumping up to the O'Reilly series coming up in a few weeks. According to Stock Car N on Instagram, a rumor going around is that Sigma Performance Services Racing, the team that was trying to buy AM Racing out before the season began, and ultimately that deal fell through and a lawsuit followed, is expecting to make their O'Reilly Auto Parts Series debut later this year, with making possibly their first start at Bristol with Daniel Dye as a driver. An update came out for the post a couple not too far later that Daniel Dye and his plans with the team have fell through, but Sigma Performance Services is still looking to make their debut possibly at Bristol. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. Sigma Performance Services again was going to jump up to the O'Reilly series this season full time, acquiring AM Racing during the offseason. Unfortunately, that fell through due to some other details that have not been made public. A lawsuit followed from AM Racing about Sigma Performance Services using intellectual property illegally that AM Racing did not allow them to. I don't know if that lawsuit has been resolved yet or not. It might have, and I just didn't see it. But anyways, yeah, it's very interesting. Daniel Dye being the driver. I mean, he's trying to fill out starts for his sponsors. Probably he's been doing that in many different series, in the Truck Series, in the O'Reilly Series. He just landed a new O'Reilly Series ride, I think, with Jordan Anderson Racing in the 32 car, making starts in the Cup Series for Live Fast and BJ McLeod. So unsurprising. Apparently it won't be with Ford though. They were eventually actually going to jump up with Ford and be Ford's new anchor team in the series, and that deal fell through. So, and now Ford has ultimately backed out of the series pretty much entirely, except with occasional starts with a 38 car for RSS Racing, and that's a Ford, or Joey Gase team that has a Ford on their car for a week or two here and there, but pretty much Ford has backed out. But it does seem like that Sigma Performance Services probably may jump up to the O'Reilly series and make their debut with Chevrolets. So disappointed for Ford that they just continue to not invest in this series. It's disappointing. given how well they performed their entire career in that series with teams like Roush Racing. So, regardless, super disappointing, but exciting to hear that uh, Sigma Performance Services may be jumping up to the O'Reilly Series coming soon. Now, the other rumor around the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series is between two regulars in the series, Sam Mayer and Sammy Smith. And this also comes from Stock Car N on Instagram, who said, I've been told Sam Mayer is expected to head back to JRM for 2027. Apparently, Sammy Smith could be leaving JRM, perhaps filling the mayor's seat at Haas factory team. So, yeah, big announcement out of the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series from Stock Car N. Uh, Anyways, yeah, this is a big move and big implications. Sam Mayer returning to where it all began in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series with Junior Motorsports and Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team. Yeah, this is interesting. And Sammy Smith leaving Junior Motorsports is very interesting. Sammy Smith brings a lot of funding with him from Pilot, and is a big name driver. He's got a couple wins in his career. I think his first coming at Phoenix with Joe Gibbs Racing. Originally came up as a Toyota prospect, move over to Junior Motorsports in the historic 8 car in that series. Has found a victory lane a couple times. He's been extremely consistent. He has a chase position right now. He's 8th in points. He's very consistent. Was maybe in rumors to be a potential calling driver in the Cup Series next year in the 10 car, but with renewed talks around Ty Dillon returning to the 10 car next year. Sounds like the rumors for Sammy Smith had died down. Meanwhile, Sam Mayer wants to go Cup racing and has said publicly that he feels like he deserves a Cup ride. Meanwhile, the performances and the results have not really backed up those, in my opinion, and that hurts me to say as a Wisconsinite, and Sam Mayer is from Franklin, Wisconsin, not too far from where I live. But Sam Mayer, I mean, he's 10th in points. He's struggling. Meanwhile, his teammate Sheldon Creed is up in 3rd in points right now. So, yeah, it's very disappointing from Sam Mayer. He's gotten a couple multi-win seasons, mostly with Junior Motorsports. Last year, struggled to find victory lane with Haas. But heading back to Junior Motorsports is a familiar place. He's familiar with Junior Motorsports and Hendrick Motorsports, and still back familiar with Chevrolet when Haas switched over to Chevrolet. So they have a relationship with Hendrick and Chevy. So it makes sense, in my opinion, that Sam Mayer would want to return. But yeah, it's a very interesting move. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But this could be big because, I mean, Haas Factory team's already been in the news once this past weekend with signing Dean Thompson to be their third full-time driver next year. More changes maybe on the way with bringing in Sammy Smith to maybe get a little bit more funding into that team because Sam Mayer isn't really known for bringing in a lot of funding. I know he's got Audible on there, and they're a pretty big partner with Starkey, which is a big partner for the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. But overall in his career, I've come to expect that Mayer struggles to find sponsorship every now and then. It's a little bit difficult, and he has to kind of piece together the schedule. So, yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for this rumor and what may come of it. But very interesting that we could be seeing Sam Mayer joining Haas Factory Team and Sam Mayer joining Junior Motorsports and Sammy Smith. Man, just a lot of Sammys in this report. Sam Mayer and Sammy Smith. Yeah, I can't keep track of the Sammys. But regardless, could be seeing a ride swap for those two coming up very, very soon. All right, but now it is time to move on to the final segment of today's show, my NASCAR Cup Series Power Rankings. And this one at Iowa made some big names drop outside the top 10 and a few interesting names hop inside the top 10. So let's see what changed in the NASCAR Cup Series Power Rankings following Iowa. Starting off here with a couple of honorable mentions. First, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I got Chase Elliott. I can't put Chase Elliott inside the top 10. It has been a struggle for that 9 team over the last 5 races. Had a terrible weekend at Indy last weekend, had a mechanical issue, hit the wall, just took him out of it early. And then Iowa had probably the worst car out on track besides Cody Ware, in my opinion. And really only got up to the front because of pit strategy. And yes, he did finish in 15th, and that's what he's done all year. But it wasn't an impressive 15th place finish. And none of these finishes from the last few races at Wilkesboro, Atlanta, and Chicagoland, none of them were particularly impressive from Chase Elliott. So I can't realistically put him inside my top 10. He hasn't done anything to really deserve it as of late. I also got Carson Hocevar as an honorable mention. Hocevar, had a bad weekend in Iowa, had a mechanical issue with the engine. He was coming off three pretty solid finishes, a third, 13th, and a ninth place at Indy, Wilkesboro, and Atlanta. So it's been fine from Hocevar, but I just feel like some of the other guys that got him ahead of him had better weekends. So Hocevar's been good. I would honestly say he's closer to being inside the top 10 than Elliott and the next guy that I got to talk about. It's just, some of the guys have better weeks than him. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's back inside the top 10 after Richmond at all. And the last honorable mention I have is William Byron in the 24 team. Ninth place at Iowa, his first top 10 in a couple weeks since Chicagoland. So, yeah, it's been a very, disappointing year from Byron overall, but a top 10 for the 24 team, at least at this point in the season after what they've been going through this entire year, gets my attention a little bit. So maybe Byron can build some momentum with a couple short tracks coming up. We'll have to wait and see. But starting off the top 10, at number 10, I got Bubba Wallace. But yeah, it's just been up and down for this 23 team and Bubba Wallace. Going back through it, 12th at Iowa, 28th at Indianapolis, 6th at North Wilkesboro, 29th at Atlanta, 6th at Chicagoland, 22nd at Sonoma, 2nd at San Diego, 21st at Pocono, 3rd at Michigan. Yeah, it's just been up and down for this 23 team and Bubba Wallace over the entire summer. Maybe with the chase starting up soon, he'll find some consistency. He's still in the chase. He's not quite safe yet, but it's definitely been a little bit up and down for the 23 team, but he just did have a pretty solid weekend at Iowa, so I'll put him inside my top 10. At number 9, though, I got Ross Chastain. Look, may this be aggressive? I don't know, but I gotta give some credit to the Melon Man from Florida, but yeah, I've been impressed with Ross Chastain over the last few weeks. I mean, the runs haven't been stellar, and it wasn't too long ago that he went on a little bit of a stretch of finishing inside the top 15 from Pocono through Atlanta, excuse me. Started up inside the top 15 at Wilkesboro too, so just had a top 10 finish at Iowa and one of his best races of the entire year, and thrusted himself back inside the chase conversation. He's the second driver out. So yeah, it hasn't been a great year for Ross Chastain, but he might be picking up some heat at the end of the year. So I'm gonna put Ross Chastain in the top 10 because we got to give some love to the Mellow Man. And plus, the 9th place, it doesn't, or the 7th place, it doesn't show what the kind of day that this number 1 team had. It was really impressive. So I got Ross Chastain at number 9. But moving on to number 8, down another spot, I got Kyle Larson and the 5 team. It has been a terrible stretch of races for this number 5 team. I saw a stat that he has like a 31 place average finish over the last 5 races. Terrible for Kyle Larson. The only good finish he had was a 15th at Wilkesboro, where he didn't even finish on the lead lap. Granted, it was Wilkesboro, but still, he's had so many outside the top 30 finishes in the last couple of races. 33rd at Iowa, 39th at Indianapolis, 34th at Atlanta. At Chicagoland, finished in 34th. Go out back to Sonoma, where he had his last top 10. It has just been terrible for this 5 team of Kyle Larson. He's plummeted all the way down to 10th in the standings. It's just been absolutely awful for this 5 team. Hopefully he'll be able to turn things around at Richmond, but it's not looking good right now. This next guy, I got floating in the same boat. It's Tyler Reddick. He's at number 7. Yeah, down another spot from last week. It's just been up and down for Reddick, and the up and down, the highs haven't been, extremely high for Reddick. It's just been a tale of 2 seasons. I think, the guys in the broadcast booth for USA said it best, a tale of 2 seasons for this 45 team in Reddick. Starting off the year so hot, and then as we got on in the summer months since Michigan, I would say, it's just been a struggle. I know he's got a couple top 5s mixed in, a couple top 10s, but overall, it's just been a struggle for this 45 team. DNFs, finishing off the lead lap, finishing outside the top 30. It's not been good for this 45 team, and again, the good has not been, extremely good. Not to where it needs to be to balance out the bad finishes. So I got Tyler Reddick at 7. At number 6, I got Joey Logano, moving up 2 spots from 8 to 6. He's doing it again. He's getting hot at the right time at the end of the season. I know he had a 14th at Iowa. It's been his worst finish in the last 5 races, but the 14th doesn't truly, show the kind of race that Logano was having. He was up inside the top 10, top 5, just had a costly pit road mistake, but over the last 4 races before that, 3rd at Indianapolis, 1st at Wilkesboro, gets a win, gives himself a huge points boost, 9th at Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta, and the 12th at Chicagoland, grinds out a good finish there. So Logano, last 5 races, been very, very good. We'll see if he can continue to keep this good momentum rolling as we head into a couple short tracks at Richmond this upcoming weekend, where he almost won, if not for Austin Dillon absolutely wrecking him on the final lap in 2024. But with all that, probably not happening again, could see Logano in victory lane once again. At number 5, I got Chase Briscoe, down 2 spots, but he doesn't really deserve it. He's got 3 straight top 10s, 2 of which have been top 5s, and if you don't include Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta, you have a win at Chicagoland. Briscoe has been very, very good, very, very solid over the last couple of weeks. Just simply, I got to move him down a couple spots because the 2 guys ahead of him, just had better weeks, and I hate to say it because it's hard to, do better than a 6th place finish and 4th and a 3rd and a win all in the last 4 races, or 4 out of the last 5 races. But yeah, it's just been absolutely loaded. It's just absolutely loaded inside the top 5 here. And Briscoe, unfortunately, is the 5th best out of the 5 best in this top 5. So Briscoe's been great. We'll see if he can continue that momentum at Richmond coming up this weekend. I don't know if I actually just spoke English when I was talking about Chase Briscoe, but we move on nonetheless to number 4, and I got Christopher Bell. When I took a look at the last 5 races for Bell, excluding North Wilkesboro, every single race has been a 2nd place finish. Are you kidding me? Bell is insane. These past 2 weeks at Iowa and Indianapolis, oh my goodness, had to come from the mid-20s, starting back in the mid-20s, and climbs all the way up to 2nd and loses to a Toyota teammate. It's insane. Did the same thing at Echo Park Speedway, started in the back of the pack, pushed Ryan Blaney to the win. Chicagoland just came up short to his teammate of Chase Briscoe. Sonoma was inside the top 5. And you go back to Nashville, finished behind Denny Hamlin in 2nd place. Charlotte lost to Daniel Suarez. So many 2nd place finishes for Christopher Bell this season. And you can go all the way back to Phoenix when he lost to Tyler Reddick, or not Tyler Reddick, he lost to Ryan Blaney in that one. So, yeah, Bell is super close to getting that first win of the year. It's going to come eventually. Could it be this weekend at Richmond, or is it going to be at New Hampshire, where he, swept the weekend a couple years ago? Let's remember he did that not too long ago. So I got Bell at number 4, but in any other series, he'd probably be number 1 or 2, but the top 5, again, just so loaded. At number 3, I have Ty Gibbs, the most recent race winner. Yeah, you're going to get a little boost when you have a win in the last race. So, yeah, Gibbs, he's been extremely consistent over the last couple weeks. Finished in 12th at Indianapolis, and then had a couple top 10s. Actually had a top 10 in each race, going back all the way to Sonoma. So, really good stuff from Ty Gibbs. And, of course, the win at Iowa, the cherry on top after starting inside the top 10. Working his way up through the front, even though his teammates were battling brake issues. Really solid stuff from Ty Gibbs. He's in the conversation for the top spot in the standings. He's 2nd behind his teammate, who we'll get to in just a moment. But really consistent stuff from Ty Gibbs. We'll see if we can continue that throughout the rest of the regular season and into the chase. At number 2, I have Gibbs and Bell and Briscoe's teammate, Denny Hamlin. And yeah, Hamlin had a really another solid race at Iowa. Battled some brake issues early on, had to manage that even though he was starting in the back of the pack, but slowly and methodically worked his way forward alongside Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe throughout the rest of the pack. But he's been very solid. He's got back-to-back top 5s at Iowa and Indy, had a top 5 at Wilkesboro, finished in 2nd behind Logano, finished in 3rd at Chicagoland as well. So, been extremely consistent for Denny Hamlin. We'll see if we can continue that at a track again, like Joey Logano that he almost won at in 2024. And Denny Hamlin is right now saying, "Thanks, Austin Dillon. You stole that win from me." But at number 1, once again, I have Ryan Blaney. He and Hamlin are just going back and forth at the top spot, but Blaney finished in 3rd at Iowa, had a tough race at Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, in the last race, but was extremely solid at Wilkesboro. He won at Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta and finished inside the top 10 at Chicagoland and Sonoma. Is he the top driver in the sport right now? Could be debatable. I definitely can see arguments for Hamlin and Gibbs or Bell or Briscoe, but I just like the consistency that I have been seeing from Ryan Blaney. He was up front early on, won a stage, I believe, if I can remember correctly, from Iowa. But what I love the most is that I think these stretch of tracks for Ryan Blaney will be really, really good for him. We have Richmond coming up. It's another short track, and then New Hampshire, a short flat oval, like Phoenix, that he won at early on in the season. That he didn't win at New Hampshire, he won at Phoenix. Let's just make that clear. But it's another short flat oval that Penske should do very well at. And we're heading to Daytona in the race 1 year ago that Blaney won with an incredible 4-wide finish. So I like the tracks coming up for Ryan Blaney in that 12 team, but he's, he's not safe at the number 1 position because Hamlin, Gibbs, Bell, and Briscoe, even his teammate Logano, honestly, they're all breathing down his neck for that top spot. Blaney's third in points, only a little over 100 points out of the top spot. He's running out of time, but he's been so consistent. I think he'll be right in that conversation up until the final checkered flag flies at Daytona as we head into the chase. So there you go. That's my top 10 after Iowa. We'll run back through it real quick. We got Ryan Blaney at number 1, 2 Denny Hamlin, 3 Ty Gibbs, 4 Christopher Bell, 5 Chase Briscoe, 6 Joey Logano, 7 Tyler Reddick, 8 Kyle Larson, 9 Ross Chastain, 10 Bubba Wallace, with the honorable mentions being Chase Elliott, Carson Hocevar, and William Byron. Alrighty, but I think that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Talkin NASCAR, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, make sure you follow the show so you never miss another episode. Like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube so you never miss another episode over there. If you haven't checked out either one of this show or Talking Sports, I'll have links down in the description to the YouTube and Spotify page of both shows. So I highly recommend that you go check out Talking Sports and come right back to Talkin NASCAR whenever you have the chance. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and I will see you in the next one of Talkin NASCAR.